Okay, so we're up to 4 minutes of Mishlei, Perek Yudalid, chapter 14. So I want to focus on the first pasuk. It's a often quoted pasuk and some very interesting midrashim that Chazal tell us. So the pasuk is Chachmos Nashim Bansa Beisa. The wisest of women builds her house. V'iveles biyadea tahasrenu. But the foolish one or folly tears down the house with its own hands. And Rashi quotes from Chazal, from the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Kuf Tes and Kuf Yud. It contrasts two different women who are not actually explicitly mentioned in the Torah, but two different women who were sort of the archetypes, or not archetypes, those who planned, that maneuvered things during the Korach's rebellion, and that is, Rashi says, well, who's the Chachma Nashim Bansa Beisa? Who is the wise woman who's sort of orchestrating things behind the scenes? That's the wife of On ben Peles. Dr. Savage knows On ben Peles' wife, and who is the Iveles, the one who was the foolish one, or the one who destroyed? That was the Ishto Shal Korach, the wife of Korach, and Rashi doesn't say much more than that. So what is the Gemara in Sanhedrin? So the story goes as follows. So On ben Peles' wife was very practical, very pragmatic. She said to him, this whole rebellion, right? Korach raises the alarm that Moshe and Aaron are just, they're trying to usurp power, and they're trying to just create this populist movement. It's not right. Everyone's kadosh, everyone's holy. So I guess On was one of those people who got mixed into this whole debate, and he comes home from the meeting, and he tells his wife, honey, this guy Korach, he's made such a great point. Why is it that Moses and Aaron, they're taking over? They're taking over this place. What's going on? So she says to him, honey, my nafka lach mineh. She says, like, either what's the difference to you, or what are you going to get out of this? It's a practical woman. She says, Imar Rabbah, if Moshe is going to be the Rab, he's going to be the Rebbe. She says, Anta Talmida, you're just going to be the student. And if you tell me Imar Rabbah, if Korach's right, you're not going to be the leader at the end of the day anyways. On Talmida, you're going to be his student. So at the end of the day, why are you getting involved in this? My Avid, but she says to him, why are you getting involved in this? And he says to her, what probably most husbands would say in this situation, what am I supposed to do? I already gave them my word. I was going to join this committee. I was going to join this, the breakaway or whatever, situation, that I realize I'm in over my head and I don't really even gain anything from this, but I already gave them my word. So she tells him, don't worry, I'll give you an out. She says, I know that this entire assembly is holy. And she says, ki kol eda kulam kedoshim. So she says, Ano matzil nalach, I'm going to save you. So she gets her husband a little bit tipsy. She gives him something to drink, goes to sleep. And what she does is she goes outside of her tent and she uncovers her hair. And they come and they knock on the door. Is Owen around? We're having our meeting. What's this meeting about? Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's all good. But is your husband, is he coming to the meeting? It's a very important meeting. She says, I'm sorry. He's not available. And so basically that was what would have happened. But she decided that she wanted to uncover her hair, and that way, when they came to knock on the door, they wouldn't even they would be embarrassed to look at her and not be. They wouldn't basically force him to come to this meeting, and in that way, she saved On ben Peles because he was sleeping, and they couldn't bother him because they didn't want to see his wife with unkempt. So that was On ben Peles' wife. The other side is the Ishta that is Iveles, the one that is destructive, is Korach's wife. And Korach, we'll just summarize it, it's getting late. Korach's wife tells him, look at what this guy's doing. He's just trying to take power for himself. And part of the process was that through the process of the Levium becoming sanctified, they had to shave all of their hair. And she says to him, Korach, look at you, fool. He's making a fool out of you. He's telling you got to shave all your hair. He's making a spectacle of you. And she basically gets under his skin and says, you shouldn't stand for this. You shouldn't be a shmata. You got to stand up against. And we know what happened with Korach. So the way that that the Chazal are telling us is that, maybe to paraphrase from Rabbi Taub, he said at the dinner, maybe it was 2 years ago, or a year ago, he said, behind every great man stands a surprised wife. That's how he said it. But at the end of the day, both spouses are always involved in the Jewish people, and also it's in general. There's people, it doesn't necessarily have to be women or men. There's people who play different roles, and oftentimes behind the scenes, people are so much more important.